wish you all a very good morning once again. I am Chandan Soni, Department of English, Government Digvijay College, RJN. And we are in Unit 2 today in the second lecture of the paper Phonetics and Stylistics, MA 4th semester, paper 5. So in today's talk, we are going to discuss classification of consonant sounds, syllables and consonant clusters. So let us begin. Before we jump to the main topic, consonant classification of consonants, I would like to talk a little bit about the spellings of English. All of us might have faced this difficulty that when we were in school, we used to find that the English dictation is much more difficult than the Hindi dictation. In Hindi, it was rather easy to spell the words in comparison with English. So today we are also going to get the answer or the reason for this problem, or the difference between the difficulty level of spellings in English and Hindi. Now let us see a few examples from Hindi. Like in Hindi, when we talk about language, both written and spoken, when it comes to Hindi, we have 52 letters in the alphabet of Hindi. Out of 52, 13 are vowels and 39 are consonants. Similarly, when we talk about the sounds of Hindi, they are just the same in number. 13 vowel sounds and 39 consonant sounds. So against the 52 letters, there are 52 sounds in Hindi. But that is not the case in English. And that is the reason why we find difficult. Like Kamala, Chamana, Chaman, Kamala, Kamal. In Hindi, whatever is written, we can read it. But in English, we find it difficult. For example, Chain. How do we read it? Chain. Machine. Machine. School. School. And how do you pronounce Champagne? When for the first time I came across this word, I had pronounced it as Champagne, just like Hindi. But I was surprised to know that it is not Champagne, but it is the spelling of champagne. So such is the case. The same letters CH represent ch in chain, sh in machine, k in school, and again sh in champagne. Let us see some examples of vowel sounds. FOOD, food. FOOT, foot. GOOD, good. Same spelling, double O is there for the vowel, but pronunciations are different. In FOOD, food, it is long O, food, and FOOT, foot, it is short one. So O, double O represents two sounds, O and O. Similarly, there is a famous joke in which it is that if TO is to and DO is do, then why is GO different? Like GO is not like similar to and do, but it is go or exactly go. So same letter O in these three words represents two different sounds. O in to and do, and O in go. Again in PUT, put, and BUT, but. PUT, U represents O, but in but it is not U, but it is A. So you will be surprised that in English we have 26 letters. In written English we have 26 letters, out of which we know that A, E, I, O, U, these 5 are vowels, and the rest 21 are consonants. But when it comes to the sounds of English, these 5 A, E, I, O, U, the vowels, represent 20 vowel sounds, whereas the 21 consonant letters represent 24 consonant sounds. So we are going to discuss today the 24 consonant sounds. Now that is the secret behind the pronunciation and the difficulties in pronunciation of English. We have 26 letters and 44 speech sounds. In Hindi we have 52 letters and 52 sounds. So you see that there is no one-to-one correspondence between the sounds and letters of English. Now, before we talk about consonants, let us talk a little about the difference between consonants and vowels. The basic difference between consonant sounds and vowel sounds is that there is the same airstream mechanism, but the difference is in its flow, how it comes out of our mouth, how the airstream comes out of our mouth. Like for example, a word shoe, when we say S-H-O-E, shoe, the first sound is consonant, sh, and the second one is vowel, u, shoe. When we pronounce sh, the air is restricted in our mouth. It doesn't flow freely. Whereas when we pronounce oo, the air comes out freely from the mouth. That is the difference between a consonant sound and a vowel sound. In consonant sound, air is restricted in the mouth with the help of organs of speech, that is the active and the passive articulators. Whereas when we speak, when we pronounce or when we articulate the vowel sounds, there is no such restriction. That is the basic difference between vowel sounds and consonant sounds. Now, to define and classify the consonant sounds, we require some information. So here are these 5 pieces of information we require. What are they? First, the airstream mechanism. Second, the state of glottis. Third, the position of the soft palate. Fourth, the active and the passive articulators. And fifth, the stricture involved. Now, what do these terms mean? 3 out of this you already know. We discussed in the previous class that all human languages, or most of them, are spoken with the help of pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. So the airstream mechanism is the same in all consonants, whether consonant or in fact in vowel as well. The airstream mechanism is pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. The state of the glottis, that also we have discussed in organs of speech, that the glottis decides whether the sound is going to be voiced or voiceless. Then we have the position of soft palate. That also we have discussed, that either a sound can be oral or it can be nasal in Hindi and English. Now, the basic thing we need to focus in this class is the 4th and the 5th point. The 4th point, active and the passive articulators, that decides the place of articulation. POA means place of articulation. In this classification, we have 9 varieties. Then the last thing is the stricture involved. Stricture involved means how the air is restricted in our mouth. What is the way it is restricted? And it gives us the manner of articulation. Means the manner in which, the way in which the air is restricted by the organs of speech. And we have 6 types or categories in this section. Now, there is a chart on the screen. I have made this chart, and if you understand this chart, you will very easily be able to classify and define all the 24 consonant sounds. Now, it is divided into 2 parts. First, there are the horizontal divisions, and then there are vertical divisions. Horizontally, it is the place of articulation, and vertically it is manner of articulation. So in manner of articulation, we have 6 varieties, and in places of articulation, we have 9 varieties. So what are they? First, we will deal with manner of articulation. The first stricture involved is nasal. Now, you already know that in nasal sounds, the soft palate is lowered, thereby opening the nasal passage, and the oral passage is shut, and the examples are m, n, and ang. So, complete oral closure. Stricture is complete oral closure, and the sound produced is called as nasal sound. 3 examples: m, n, and ang. Then we have plosive. In plosive, the stricture is complete closure and sudden release. First, the air is blocked with complete closure, and suddenly it is released, thereby producing a sort of explosion. That is why it is called as plosive. We have 6 plosive sounds in English: p, b, t, d, k, and g. P, b, t, d, k, g. Then we have affricate. In affricate, the stricture involved is complete closure and slow release. And we have 2 affricates in English: ch and j. Ch as in chair, and j as in jug. Next is fricative. In fricative, it is close approximation. Close approximation means the active and the passive articulators are very close to each other. Then we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 fricatives in English. They are f, v, th, d, s, z, sh, and j. And then we have h. These are fricatives, in which the stricture involved is close approximation. Then we have lateral. Only one lateral consonant we have in English, and that is l. What is lateral? It is partial closure. By partial closure, it means that the central tract of the mouth is closed, but the air flows from the sides of the tongue. You can easily understand what these strictures mean by pronouncing and focusing on the lip. L, l. It is lateral, l. Then at last we have approximant. Approximant means the stricture involved is open approximation. Open approximation means almost it is open. Like in v, v, then r and y. Now, That was about manner of articulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 strictures are there in manner of articulation. They are nasal, plosive, affricate, fricative, lateral, and approximant. Now we will talk about the places of articulation. The places of articulation means what are the two articulators, or what are the active and the passive articulators involved in producing these sounds. And they are very easy to remember. It starts from the tongues, and it reaches gradually it reaches the glottis. So see, the very first level is bilabial, and the active and passive articulators are named after the passive articulators, though in bilabial both are there. Two lips are the articulators, and the sounds we have m, p, b, and w. These are bilabial consonants. Then we have labiodental. Labiodental means the lower lip and upper teeth are involved. F and v. Now you see that there is a difference between f of food and the Hindi. We generally say phal, fool, but it is not the case. It is bilabial, phal and food. It is different, that it is labiodental. In English we have the f as labiodental. The lower lip touches the upper teeth and the sound becomes f and not p. F and v. We have two labiodental. Then we have two dental sounds, dental consonants. What are dental? The tip of the tongue is the active articulator and the upper teeth is the passive articulator. The two sounds are th and the. Th as in thick, th as in thin, the as in this, the as in those. Thick and thin, these and those. Then we have alveolar. See, it is gradually moving forward. After lips, it is labiodental. After labiodental, it is dental, and after dental, it is alveolar. Alveolar, we have the tip or the blade as the active articulator, and teeth ridge is the passive articulator. And the sounds are n, n as in nest, t as in ten, d as in duck, s as in said, and z as in zebra, and l as in love. Then post-alveolar. In post-alveolar sound, we have tip or blade as the active articulator, tip or blade of the tongue, and part behind the teeth ridge is the passive articulator. And the sound produced is r, that is post-alveolar. R is a post-alveolar as well as approximant. We have to use these two labels simultaneously when we are going to define a particular sound. Then we have palato-alveolar. Either tip or tip and blade, both of the tongue are the active articulators, and then we have teeth ridge and hard palate as the passive articulators. The sounds are ch as in chair, j as in jug, sh as in sugar, and j as in pleasure, j as in pleasure. 4 we have palato-alveolars. Then we have palatal. Only one palatal sound we have. The active articulator is the front of the tongue and hard palate is the passive articulators. The sound is y as in yes. Then we have velar sounds. In velar, as the name suggests, velum or the soft palate is there. Back of the tongue is the active articulator and soft palate is the passive articulator. And the three sounds are K as in king, G as in gun, and Ng as in sung, S-U-N-G, sung, Ng, K and G. Then at last we have one glottal consonant in English. And in glottal, obviously, the articulators are the two vocal cords. And the sound is H. H. You can see there is no movement in the mouth. The active and passive, both articulators are the vocal cords situated in the larynx. You must be remembering the organs of speech. H. H. Air freely comes out. H. With vibration in the vocal cords. So that is all about the two types of labeling. Labeling according to the place of articulation and labeling according to the manner of articulation. Manner of articulation also means the stricture involved. Now let us once pronounce all the 20 sounds, 20 consonant sounds of English. One more important thing I would like to tell you, that whichever diagrams and tables you find on the screen are taken from the textbook T. Balasubramanian, Phonetics for Indian Students. And you can see it is page 89 of the same book. The consonants of English: P, P as in pin, P as in sup, P as in leper, P as in pat. Now you can see in pin it is in the initial position. The sound is in the first position. In sup it is at the end, and in leper it is in the middle. We will take a few examples from all sounds. B as in bin, B as in bat, T as in tin, T as in letter, T as in butt, T as in tail, D as in din, D as in sud, D as in bud, K as in kin, K as in suck, K as in buck, K as in cat. Then we have G as in gale, G as in bug, G as in guest. Then we have Ch as in such, Ch as in chin, Ch as in chat. Then we have J, J as in gin, J as in ledger, J as in budge, jail, jest. Then we have M, M as in some, M as in mat, M as in might, M as in male, M as in mobile, N as in sun, N as in nine, N as in nest, Ang as in sung, flung. Then we have F as in fat, F as in fine, F as in fail. V is also labiodental. V as in vine, V as in veil and vest. Then we have Th, labiodental, Th, Th as in thin, Th as in thick, thick and thin. And we have D, again labiodental, leather, leather, the, the, the. Then we have thine, these, this, that, those. Then we have sir, as in sin, lesser, bus. Then we have z, as in buzz, zest, zebra. Then we have sh as in shine, shin, sugar. This one some students find very difficult to pronounce. J, j, leisure, pleasure, pleasure, measure, treasure. J as in leisure. Then we have her, that is very simple. Hat, hail, hook. Then l as in line, love, lest, last. Then we have r. These are all easy. Rat, rail, run, rest. After r we have y. There is a misprint. The word is not there. By y we have yes, yesterday, yard. Then we have w. This w, the words starting with w are bilabial. Bilabial. Remember? Win, not win. Win. Like wine, W-I-N-E will be pronounced as wine, and V-I-N-E will be pronounced as wine. V becomes labiodental and W is bilabial. You will have to practice all these sounds a lot in order to master them. So that was all about the classification and description of consonant sounds. Now we will move to the second topic, that is syllables. Now what are syllables? Syllables are actually next to the hierarchy. Hierarchy means in order of getting further. Like smallest unit is in written, as we talk, letter is the smallest unit, and letters joined together to make a word. Then we have phrase, then we have a clause, then clauses make a sentence. Likewise in spoken we have syllable and consonant clusters. First we will talk about syllables and then we will talk about consonant clusters. A syllable is a unit of sound next in hierarchy to the speech sound. Speech sound means the single vowels and consonants. Now a word is made up of one or more syllables, and that syllable or that word, a single vowel, can also be a single syllable and a single word. Like I, capital I. I is single letter. At the same time, it is a word. I. Similarly, the article a, it is a, but it is a word as well. Similarly, in sounds also we have such examples. It is very easy to know how many syllables a word has, but it is difficult to mark where one syllable ends and where the second one begins. We have monosyllabic words. Monosyllabic means which don't have any division. A word spoken in one go, like girl, boy, come, go. There is no break between the parts of these words. They are monosyllabic, or they have one syllable, we can say. Shirt, and, up, cut, bus. Then we have words with two syllables. They are called as disyllabic, like teacher, doctor, tailor, teacher. Two syllables, T and ch, teacher. Then father, brother, pencil, pencil. Then we have trisyllabic words like remember, cucumber, quarantine, surrender, cylinder, phonetics, phonetics. Then we have four syllable words like population, population, respiration, respiration, sanitation, sanitation, sanitizer, sanitizer. Then five syllables and so on. 5 syllables like examination, communication. Like we speak it all together, but there is syllable division. Like in examination, examination. Now, how do we divide the syllables in a given word? Generally, it is divided with the help of hyphen. When it is in spelling, like it is written in letters, we can divide them by a hyphen, like Taylor, TAI-LOR, Taylor. Population, POPULATION. But always it is not possible, because in some words one letter represents more than one sound, and examination is a notorious example. Like in examination, there are 5 syllables, but the letter X, EXAMINATION, X represents 2 sounds, G and Z. Ig is the first syllable, examination. Examination. Together it is examination. Examination. So we cannot divide it with the help of spelling, and for that we need to transcribe the word. Transcribe means we have to write the word in symbols of vowels and consonants. Now, how is a syllable made? Or what is the structure of a syllable? Or we can say what is the composition of a syllable? Naturally, it is made up of vowel and consonants. A syllable is made up of one or more speech sounds. One speech sound can also be a syllable. The elements with which syllables are made are vowels and consonants. If a syllable is made up of only one sound, then it usually is a vowel. For example, ah, AH, her is silent. Only ah is pronounced. And OH, O. And then I, the diphthong I as in I. So it is a monosyllabic word. At the same time, it is a complete word with only one element. If a syllable is made up of more than one speech sounds, then one of them is vowel and the rest will be consonants. Like any, any. A is the first syllable and ni is the second syllable. Recede, re and seed. Relate, re and late. Now, in structure we have the nucleus, that is the vowel sound. Then we have releasing consonant and arresting consonant. Releasing consonant is the consonant with which the syllable starts, and arresting consonant is the consonant with which the syllable ends. Now the nucleus is central and obligatory, whereas the releasing and arresting consonants are optional. Now, how to label a syllable? A syllable is labeled with the help of capital C and V. C for consonant and V for vowel. For example, cat, C-A-T is the spelling, and if we transcribe it, it is K, A and T. Cat. K is a consonant, so C is represented by C. A will be represented by V, and again for T we will write C. Below the transcription we will write CVC, cat, CVC. So first C is the releasing consonant. Releasing consonant means the syllable starts with the consonant K. Then we have nucleus, the vowel, and then we have the arresting consonant, that is the consonant with which the monosyllabic word cat ends. Now we have various syllable structures, like only nucleus, we have already seen this. Then we have nucleus plus one arresting consonant. The structure will be called as V and C. Am, A and M, am. Ol, O and La, or. Then we have CV structure, a releasing consonant and nucleus. Example: B, B and E, B, she, sh and E, C and V is the structure. Then we have CVC, one releasing consonant, one nucleus, obviously nucleus, and then we have one arresting consonant. The structure will be CVC, like in come and gone. Then we can have two releasing consonants, and then we have the nucleus, and then one arresting consonant. The structure will be CCVC. Example: slate, slate, s, l, a and t, CCVC. School, s, k, u and l, school. We can have three releasing consonant and one arresting consonant. The structure will be CCV, CCC, V and C. Example: scream, scream and stream. S in the first one, S, K, R, three consonants, then E and M, nucleus, and the releasing consonant. Sorry, arresting consonant. The first three are the three releasing consonant, then we have the vowel, nucleus, and then one arresting consonant. Scream and stream. In stream we have S, T, R, three, then we have E and M. Stream. Further we can have one releasing consonant, nucleus, and two arresting consonant, like in box. The structure will be CVCC. And band, CVCC. B, O, K, S, B, A, N and D, band. And maximum we can have 4 arresting consonants, like in example 9, one releasing consonant, then nucleus, and then 4 arresting consonants. Example is tempts, tempts, texts, texts. It is little difficult. Texts, t, a, t, one consonant, a, the nucleus, k, s, t, s, texts, texts, and tempts, tempts, t, a, m, p, t, s. 4 C's are there. Interesting. Now, what is consonant cluster? Consonant cluster is nothing but the combination of consonant sounds in single syllable. English allows up to 3 consonants to begin a syllable and up to 4 consonants to end a syllable. Such a sequence of consonants at the beginning or end of a syllable is called consonant clusters. So, in syllable structure, we can easily find out where are consonant clusters. But there is a problem. Like, we must remember that a sequence of consonant should occur only in one. They should be in one single syllable and not a part of 2 syllables. For example, stand, stand, s, t, a, n and d. CCVCC, that is the structure. But in member, for example, member, m, a, m and b and a, member. Here m and b, 2 consonants are together, but they do not belong to single syllable. They are parts of 2 different syllables. So these are not consonant clusters. M and b in member are not consonant clusters because m of mem belongs to the first syllable and b of b belongs to the second syllable. I hope that is clear. Now we have another term, syllabic consonants. in some words you will find that there is a syllable division, but in the second syllable there is no vowel, like there is no nucleus. Like in cattle, cattle, k, a, cv construction, first syllable, and then t and l, till. Now it is t and l, and little similar, l, e, t, l. Then we have cotton, k, o, t, and n. Then we have sudden, s, a, d, and n. In all these four words, just mark the second syllables. Both the elements of the second syllables are consonant sounds, but they are marked as or symbolized as CV. You will find, and that these are known as syllabic consonants. Syllabic consonants means consonants that play the role of a vowel in a syllable in the absence of vowels. In English, we have ma, na, ra, and la. These four sounds can take the position of a vowel, and they are marked as V when we define the structure of that syllable. So that is all about consonants and syllables and syllable structures. In the next class, we will talk about the vowels of English, the classification and description of vowel sounds. Now, in long question of 16 marks, you will be asked a full-length question on description of consonant sounds. For when that is there, that question is asked. Now, for answering that question, you will require all these 5 pieces of information. And if you learn that table, this table, if you understand and by heart this table, you can draw this table, then you will not require to learn a lot of things. You will automatically be able to produce the description and classification of consonant sounds. That's all for today. See you in the next class. Bye-bye.